Last week we looked at the FEG PA-63, that Hungarian FEG. It was that 9mm short, which it's a 380. This week we're going to look at the gun that replaced it. If you're looking at this side, you go, hey, that looks like a Browning high power. Close. We turn the gun over, you see now the safety is mounted on the slide, not on the grip frame. Oh, you're thinking of Smith Wesson 39. Very close. This is the FEG P9R. It's a 9mm Luger Parabellum. This is the gun that replaced that PA-63. The Hungarians wanted a more universal round. So what they did, they went with another double action. This time a 9mm. Last time that 3 was 9mm short. Now we got a 9mm Parabellum. And this holds 15 rounds. I've seen several places on the internet. They say it's a 14 round 9mm. I have 2 magazines for this this little pistol, and both hold 15 rounds. So I'm gonna call it a 15 round mag, and then one in the chamber up to a 16 round capacity. We took it to the range. It shot fairly well, had a nice double action trigger, and once you get going, it's a single action trigger. We did have a little hang up though. You'll see in the video, John Henry was shooting it, and we had a failure to extract. And I'm going to credit that to a very dirty gun. Eject the mag. Keep that gun pointed down range. All right, slingshot it. There you go. All right.
Pull slide back. No. Here.
All right, eject your mag. Keep the gun pointed down range. As you can see, we did have a couple of failure to eject problems. Both Lincoln experienced it and John Henry experienced it. And I'm gonna, for now, attribute that to a dirty gun. I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, and we'll see how it runs after good cleaning. It hasn't been cleaned or lubed, as far as I know, in over 20 years. We just went out and shot it because it was a good day, it was nice and sunny. We took it straight to the range. We probably should have prepped the gun before we left. That's on me. That's not on the gun for now. We'll see if that problem clears up. Speaking of which, let's get into how to strip this down. We're going to field strip this FEG P9R, and it requires no tools at all. What we're going to do, we're going to make sure the magazine is out of the gun. Work the slide. We see that the gun is empty. We can look down. We can see through the magazine. We can see into the chamber. The gun is empty. We're going to move the slide backward so it engages that slide stop. If we look back, and now it would be the right side of the gun, you'll see that slide stop has a pin that goes all the way through. We're just going to push that through with our finger, get a little bit of pressure, and you'll see now how that slide release is now separated from the frame. I'm going to take one hand, go around the grip and around the front. I'm going to relieve some of that spring pressure and just lift off this slide release. Now we got, this is all under spring pressure. I'm holding it tight with one hand. I'm going to take this slide, release some of that pressure, let the slide move forward, and just continue its forward movement. It'll come right off. There we've got our grip. Now we'll take a look at our slide. Here's our main spring. Just going to relieve the tension on this. Whoop, and the whole main spring will come out. At the same time, we'll be able to lift out our barrel for cleaning. And that's about as far as we're going to go for a field strip. When we go to put this back together, you'll see you've got your barrel lugs, and you'll see we've got the barrel lugs where they lock in place. We're just going to make sure those go back in place. But before we put that together, I want to show you something. Here's that slide mounted safety, and you can see as we engage that safety, it's going to rock up and it's going to cover the firing pin so that hammer cannot strike the firing pin. So we'll see when we take it off safety, now that firing pin's exposed where the hammer can strike it. As we move the safety on, I'm sorry, I got dogs rattling around in the cage back behind me. It's gonna move that up so where that firing pin cannot strike the safety. All right, let's go put this back together. We're gonna drop the barrel in. You'll feel those lugs engage. They'll kind of drop into place. Now they're kind of locked in place. We'll replace that main spring, goes right in the, that's the little housing. Kind of compress that spring, a little bit of pressure. It'll lock it in place. There, we're back. Now we're gonna take this slide, get it back on the slide rail. Move it all the way back. Now we're gonna compress that spring. So again, we're gonna go all the way back, compress that spring. I'm gonna hold it in place. We'll put that slide release back. Oh. And we'll just move this one big unit. Like I said, it's all under pressure right now. This is the most complicated part of the whole thing. Get the whole thing back into place. Push that back in there. I'm trying to do this through the monitor, so it's kind of awkward. All right, so there we've got it back into place. Again, no tools required. It was really quite simple. There's that little bit of, you have to compress that spring at the same time as you're holding it back. Now when we drop it, when we go to fire, you'll see that hammer's back. If we go to put it in safe, it's a hammer drop. Watch the trigger reset. That hammer falls, and remember how we showed that hammer's not striking the firing pin. That trigger's now been disengaged. When we go to take the safety off, red, you're dead. Now that trigger's got tension, we become a double action. All right. But that's how to field strip it, clean it, put it right back together. Again, a nice little double action 9mm. It really did steal a lot from that Browning high power as far as grip. It does have the double stack mag. It is kind of a chunky grip. Not uncomfortable, not too big to handle. You do have 15 rounds of 9mm. It's kind of a nice little gun. I think it's really well made. It still has that classic, the wood grips and the blued steel. There's no rail on it. There's no light rail. There's no Picatinny rail. Nothing like that. You really can't put optics on this easily. The sights are a little bit low, a little bit thin, but for a carry gun, more than adequate. Target gun, not quite the target sights you'd want to have. Not real adjust. They're drift adjustable, so you have to shoot it and get used to where it impacts. But for close up, close work, this is going to be a nice little gun. I would recommend it just for fun shooting. It does have that Browning high power look and feel, which that's what kind of got me with it. But anyway, the FEG P9R, nice little gun. Maybe we'll look into it. Give it a shot. Ha! All right. I know that was a bad one. Go ahead, comment, tear me up. This is John here in the shop. It's a little hot, so I'm not wearing the long sleeves today. It is summertime here in Western Oregon. We'll see you in the next video, and maybe we'll do a detailed cleaning on this gun.